Osama bin Laden, founder of al-Qaeda, rose from obscurity to become the most infamous terrorist leader of the modern era. Born into a wealthy Saudi family, bin Laden used his resources and influence to build a global network of extremists, united by a radical ideology and a willingness to use violence to achieve their aims. He became the face of global terrorism after orchestrating the September 11, 2001 attacks, a day that would forever change the world. The shocking images of that morning were broadcast live, searing themselves into the collective memory of millions. On that morning, al-Qaeda operatives hijacked 4 commercial airplanes, turning ordinary flights into deadly weapons. The meticulous planning and coordination behind the attacks stunned intelligence agencies worldwide. 2 planes crashed into the iconic World Trade Center towers in New York City, causing them to collapse in a matter of hours. Another plane struck the Pentagon, the heart of America's military command. The 4th plane, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed into a field in Pennsylvania after courageous passengers fought back, sacrificing their lives to prevent further destruction. Nearly 3,000 innocent lives were lost that day, leaving families shattered and communities in mourning. The world watched in disbelief as the scale of the tragedy unfolded, and leaders everywhere expressed their condolences and solidarity. The United States swiftly identified bin Laden as the mastermind behind the attacks. President George W. Bush addressed a grieving nation, vowing justice. The war on terror was launched, and a $25 million bounty was placed on bin Laden's head, making him the world's most wanted man. For almost a decade, bin Laden evaded capture, believed to be hiding in the rugged mountains along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. He released taunting video messages, claiming responsibility for attacks, and urging his followers to continue their violent campaign. His continued freedom was a painful reminder of 9/11's trauma and a constant challenge to U.S. intelligence agencies, who worked tirelessly to track his movements and dismantle his network. The hunt for bin Laden became a matter of national honor, a quest for justice, and a search for closure for the families of the victims, and for a nation still healing. As the years passed, the world waited anxiously for justice to be served, hoping that one day, the man behind the world's deadliest terror attack would finally be brought to account. The search for bin Laden spanned continents and years, beginning in the Tora Bora caves of Afghanistan. Despite a massive assault in late 2001, bin Laden escaped into Pakistan, vanishing from sight. U.S. intelligence chased countless leads, but bin Laden's operational discipline, no phones, no internet, made him a ghost. Frustration mounted as years passed with no progress. Analysts shifted focus. Instead of searching for bin Laden directly, they targeted his inner circle. The key insight: bin Laden needed couriers to survive in isolation. Interrogations at Guantanamo Bay revealed a trusted courier, Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, possibly the link to bin Laden's location. Tracking this courier became the new priority. The hope. Umaydin scriptadas durdig. Fadat per 30. Follow the courier. Find bin Laden. The trail was faint, but it was the best lead in years. Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti's name surfaced in early interrogations, whispered among detainees as a trusted courier for al-Qaeda's inner circle. At first, his identity was shrouded in mystery, just another name in a sea of leads, but his connection to Osama bin Laden was hinted at in fragments of conversations and coded messages. For years, the CIA painstakingly sifted through intelligence, piecing together clues from intercepted communications and field reports. Only after relentless investigation did they finally uncover his true identity, realizing that al-Kuwaiti was far more significant than previously thought. By 2010, after months of surveillance and analysis, they tracked him to a mysterious compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. A location that immediately raised red flags due to its secrecy and unusual construction. The compound was unusually large, surrounded by high walls topped with barbed wire, and fortified with multiple security features. There were no phone lines or internet connections, an oddity in a wealthy neighborhood where such amenities were standard. The property's isolation and self-sufficiency only deepened the intrigue. Residents burned their trash rather than leaving it for collection, and they kept to themselves, rarely interacting with neighbors. This secretive behavior, combined with the compound's fortress-like appearance, raised further suspicion among both locals and intelligence officials. Surveillance teams soon noticed a tall, bearded man, the Pacer, who matched bin Laden's physical description. He was seen pacing the courtyard for hours, never stepping outside the compound's walls, always careful to avoid exposure. The evidence was circumstantial but compelling: extreme security measures, the presence of the elusive courier, and the mysterious pacer who never left the compound. Each detail added weight to the growing theory that bin Laden himself might be hiding there. After countless hours of debate and analysis, intelligence teams concluded there was a strong probability that Osama bin Laden was inside. The risk of being wrong was enormous, but the signs were impossible to ignore. After a decade of searching, the United States was finally at his doorstep, closer than ever to capturing the world's most wanted man. Now the question loomed large: how to act without sparking disaster, risking innocent lives, or igniting a global crisis. Every option carried immense consequences. The stakes had never been higher, and the world was about to witness a pivotal moment in the fight against terror. In late 2010, the CIA presented their findings to President Obama. The intelligence community had spent months piecing together fragments of information, tracking suspicious couriers, and analyzing intercepted communications. The evidence pointed to a mysterious compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, a location that had never before appeared on their radar. The stakes were enormous, and the room was thick with tension as the president listened intently. The intelligence was compelling, but not definitive. There was no clear visual confirmation that Osama bin Laden was inside, only probabilities, educated guesses, and a trail of circumstantial clues. Analysts pored over grainy satellite images and blurry surveillance footage, searching for patterns, but certainty remained elusive. The president's advisors laid out the options. A bombing strike could destroy the compound, but it risked killing innocent civilians and would leave no proof that bin Laden was actually dead. Alternatively, a ground raid by Navy SEALs would be far riskier, but offered the chance to confirm bin Laden's identity and gather valuable intelligence. President Obama weighed the risks with grave seriousness. A failed mission could mean dead Americans, a diplomatic crisis with Pakistan, or the possibility that bin Laden might slip away once again. The consequences of every choice were potentially catastrophic, and the burden of responsibility was immense. The president's advisors were deeply divided. Some urged caution, fearing the fallout of a failed raid or mistaken identity. Others argued that this was the best chance in a decade to bring bin Laden to justice, and that certainty was worth the risk. Obama demanded that every possible contingency be considered. He pressed his team for details, asking tough questions and challenging assumptions. The planning was exhaustive, with every scenario mapped out and every risk weighed. The decision was agonizing. The world's eyes would be on the outcome, and the pressure was unlike anything the president had faced before. News outlets speculated, and the stakes felt higher with every passing day. After months of secret deliberation, President Obama made his choice. He gave the order: launch the raid. The weight of history pressed down as he signed the directive, knowing that the next hours could change the world. The mission would be surgical, secret, and fraught with peril. The Navy SEALs prepared for what could be the most important operation of their lives, knowing that failure was not an option. The fate of the operation, and America's reputation, rested on this call. Every eye in the Situation Room was fixed on the unfolding plan, and the tension was palpable. The countdown to Operation Neptune Spear began. Every second ticked by with the weight of history behind it, as the world unknowingly held its breath. There was no turning back. The mission was underway, and the outcome would soon be written into history. With the order given, SEAL Team 6 prepared for the mission. They trained relentlessly on a replica of the Abbottabad compound, rehearsing every detail. 2 stealth-modified Black Hawk helicopters would carry them deep into Pakistan, undetected. On May 1, 2011, the team launched from Afghanistan, flying low and fast through the night. In the White House Situation Room, President Obama and his team watched a live drone feed, tension mounting. The helicopters crossed into Pakistani airspace without incident, approaching the compound. The plan: one helicopter would insert SEALs into the courtyard, the other would secure the perimeter. The most dangerous phase was about to begin. The world was unaware, but history was in motion. As the first helicopter hovered over the compound, it lost lift and crash-landed inside the walls. No injuries, but the plan changed instantly. SEALs from both helicopters adapted, breaching the compound from multiple points. The assault began. The guest house was cleared first, where Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, the courier, was killed. Moving to the main building, the SEALs encountered resistance, killing the courier's brother and bin Laden's son Khalid. Controlled explosions breached doors as the team advanced, securing women and children along the way. Night vision goggles turned darkness into green-lit clarity as SEALs swept room by room. The path to the third floor, the suspected lair of bin Laden, was now open. The operation was swift, precise, and relentless. The final confrontation was moments away. The SEALs reached the third floor, entering bin Laden's private quarters. In a dark bedroom, they found a tall, bearded man, bin Laden. He was unarmed, but weapons were nearby. One of his wives rushed forward. Perceiving a threat, the lead SEAL fired. Bin Laden was killed instantly. Another woman was wounded but survived. The world's most wanted man was dead. The SEALs confirmed his identity through height, a family member, photographs, and DNA samples. They quickly gathered a trove of intelligence charting. Sarge Arjur Joban for our jurors, Bodishodajurist Jordam's documents and digital media. Every second counted. The Pakistani military could arrive at any moment. The mission shifted from assault to extraction. The entire raid lasted about 40 minutes. With bin Laden's body and intelligence in hand, the SEALs faced a new problem: a downed helicopter. They rigged it with explosives, destroyed it, and loaded everyone onto the remaining Black Hawk. Overloaded, the helicopter lifted off, joined by a backup Chinook for extraction. Relief swept the White House as the team returned safely to Afghanistan. No American casualties. DNA analysis confirmed the body was bin Laden's. The intelligence haul was immense, revealing bin Laden's ongoing leadership and al-Qaeda's secrets. The raid struck a devastating blow to the terrorist network. On May 1, 2011, President Obama addressed the nation. Osama bin Laden was dead. He recounted the 9/11 attacks, the long search, and praised the SEALs' courage. Justice has been done, he declared. News spread worldwide. Americans gathered in celebration at the White House in Ground Zero. Meanwhile, aboard the USS Carl Vinson, bin Laden's body was prepared for burial at sea. The US wanted to avoid creating a shrine or diplomatic complications. His body was washed, wrapped, and given Islamic rites before being committed to the ocean. The burial was swift and discreet, completed within 24 hours. The final chapter of bin Laden's story ended not in a cave, but in the depths of the sea. The world exhaled. A decade-long manhunt was finally over. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more untold histories and in-depth documentaries.